Hello, folks, and I think we are live. All right. Welcome to Cali-Based. Why is it called that? Because I am based in California, Santa Cruz to be more precise, and I am very happy you came in to join me. Well, nobody's here yet. I'm disappointed. Actually, no, there you are, Secret Asian Man. Welcome to the show. All right, we got tons of stuff to talk about. There's all sorts of crap going on. I got a big list of things. I'll start with small stuff, but we got Trump's indictment. We got obviously still the horrible Nashville stuff. Still no manifesto, apparently. We got Rand Paul's attacker. We got the Q-Anon Shaman being released. That's a big deal. But I actually want to start with this sort of local story, and it's just typical San Jose stuff. SJPD, big old shout out. It's funny. It's a story about the SJPD because I'm from San Jose, and about a year ago, I wanted to be a cop. Yep. Well, year and a half ago, about. I went through all the stuff. I passed the written exam, the Pella B test, and the physical agility test, and everything. And first place I applied for, I got turned down, of course. But then all of the well, we're live on YouTube. I don't know what I can say. All of the mandates for things started to go into place. So I just abandoned the whole cop idea. And I'm glad I did, because I wouldn't have been able to enforce the things that they wanted to enforce. Anyway, the story about the SJPD, this lady, Joanne Segovia, I encourage you to look her up. She's the union director. She's the executive director of the SJPD Officers Association. So she's the head of the union. She's the head of the Officers Union. This chick was basically a fentanyl kingpin for the California drug ring, wherever it's going, wherever it's ending up. She was a big crucial part in it, because she's been doing this shit since 2015, apparently. I'm sorry, I'm going to try not to curse. But she was using a PayPal account. That's how they caught her. The Department of Homeland Security caught her. Looks like they are actually doing some work. How about that? But this dumb lady was using just her regular work email. The PayPal is linked to her regular name. I guess the fishy stuff that they're like, why wasn't this caught? Because it was pretty obvious. There's like accounting errors, and apparently accounting should have caught this, but they didn't. And yeah, so it's this giant investigation. Head of the officers union for the San Jose Police Department. I don't know if you guys know, San Jose is not small. Silicon Valley. I mean, that's where IBM started. And it's a few years back, we had some corruption with an underage prostitute with the SFPD and some of the Oakland PD. That was a horrible story. And just police corruption, just more and more police corruption. And I'm horrible hearing it. At least, I mean, I guess this wasn't the cops themselves. And, we are coming off a badass performance by the Nashville PD guys. So, I don't want to taint their name, because they handled business very quickly. So that's it. 64-year-old union director Joanne Segovia, fentanyl kingpin. Unreal lady. Look up her name. Look at the picture. I can't share it with you because I'm poor and I don't have two monitors, so I can't do that yet. But look her up. She'll look like she'll make you cookies. Like, it's unreal. That, I mean, I wonder how many people are dead because of this lady alone. Yeah. Anyway, check her out. Yeah, I think that's about it. But she was getting fentanyl from like Hong Kong, Hungary, India, like all over the place, apparently. And people should have noticed. So that's the even shadier part. It's not even that this. There's probably, I would imagine there's more people involved. And it's probably ending up on the streets of San Francisco. And you know how it looks there. So, all right. So on to the next story. I mean, I guess it's not a huge shocker, but it's crazy how barely anybody is talking about this. Well, I guess to me, this doesn't even seem politically motivated, but you got Rand Paul's aide. He got stabbed. So one of Rand Paul's assistants, he was like coming out of a restaurant with some food. I don't, like probably like a to-go order or something. Some guy comes up and blindsides him and stabs him. I think he got stabbed in the head. He had life-threatening injuries. But the attacker was released from prison the day before. Literally the day before. So, I mean, that's all the details I have on it, that he was blindsided, stabbed. I don't know if the guy tried to rob him or anything. To me, this sounds just more like a crazy person attacking someone, and it doesn't even seem politically motivated. The guy just happened to be Rand Paul's aide. I don't know. I'm not going to get too tinfoily on it, but nobody's even talking about it. It just goes to show the crime in DC. And like I said, the guy was released the day before. Just, hey, let him out. Goes and stabs Ron Paul's aide. It's like, dude, it's unreal. Philip Todd is the guy's name. Happened in DC, coming out of a restaurant. So I don't know. Like, are we just noticing crime more, or is crime going up, or is it both? It's random attacks seem to be increasing, and at the same time that they're releasing people and random attacks are increasing, they're going after everybody's guns. Okay, stay strapped, people. Stay strapped. Get clapped. All right, number 3. What do we got? Q-Anon Shaman. Jacob Chansley, released from prison today. Very unceremoniously. You didn't hear too much about it. It was just all of a sudden, poof, he's out. And probably because of all that footage that Tucker released, and it was like, hey, look, he didn't. It did look like he came through a door that was initially broken in, but he wasn't the one that broke it in. He came through after, and then the cops were literally escorting him through the Capitol, opening doors for him. It was a funny ass video of him. Like, I want to hang out with the guy. I want to meet Jacob Chansley. If any of you guys know him, I'm sure everybody's trying to get him on their show, but I mean, I'll fly to him and give him a hug. I really like this poor guy, because there's a video of him when he goes into, I think it's the Senate building, the Senate room, whatever that's called, and he walks in. There's a guy on the floor all bloody, and he goes, "Oh man, bless your heart." He's just a funny dude, and he was being super polite with Capitol police officers, and he wasn't a dangerous guy. This guy was locked up for, was it 2 years? Over 2 years? Under 2 years? I don't know. Any time was too long. Any time before, they could have released all this footage. They knew all this. Like, he was a literal political prisoner. And, people laugh, and it's funny because he wears the horns and he's the shaman guy. But this is a guy's life. Like, I mean, I can't imagine what it would be like to just be locked up in solitary confinement. And from my understanding, he was in solitary confinement for I don't know how long. And that'll break a man. I mean, no social interaction whatsoever. And he didn't do anything wrong. He didn't. He showed up there and he was angry because he believes, and a lot of people believe, and even if you don't talk about the word I can't say that has to do with how you vote for things, even if there was no funny business involved with any of that, all of the, I think I could say Hunter Biden's laptop now, Hunter Biden laptop suppression, just the FBI collusion with Twitter. I mean, there's that was it a Time magazine article, how they fortified the I don't even want to say the word. You guys know what I'm talking about. It was basically like a confession letter for how they did it, how everybody got together, and it was just basically a giant propaganda campaign to, promote propaganda and suppress anyone on the right that would contradict any sort of the mainstream story. And everybody is pissed, and like it's all out there now. It's like everybody who was there on January 6th had a right to be mad, and they call them terrorists and insurrectionists. And I mean, for the most part, it was a protest. Anyway, I don't want to I don't want to get too far off on that, but Jacob Chansley did not deserve to be locked up for, I mean, more than a couple of days until they figured it out. He probably shouldn't even have been arrested, but I mean, maybe arrested for, nuisance or whatever. Like, probably wasn't supposed to be in those buildings. But you see other people too, how they're like staying inside the ropes. Yeah, there was violent people there. Anybody that was violent and not a Fed, like, yeah, they should, like, no guys, like, no violence. Just, you got to be better, But I mean, all the agent provocateurs, it's being pretty much proven now. It's the whole thing was a sham. It could not have worked out for Pelosi better. She was sitting behind the scenes, just, super happy that everything's happening. But yeah, fell right into that trap. So anyway, Jacob Chansley, he's out. Good. Anybody, if you know him, give him a hug. Say it's from me. Like, poor dude. I hope he gets some really good food when he gets out. Guy's a vegan too, so he probably had to eat slop. They're probably laughing at him. Like, I almost feel less bad that he was in solitary confinement because he's a vegan. I mean, it's almost deserved, but I'll give him a break. So I'm glad you're out, Jacob, even though you're vegan. All right, we'll just go right into like what flows next, the Trump indictment. So another political attack, So yeah, came out today. They're gonna indict him. People are saying it guarantees his reelection. I don't think it does. I think it guarantees his he'll get the nomination for the GOP, but I don't think it necessarily guarantees his election. I mean, how can you say that after what you saw happened in 2020 and what we now know happened in 2020? So I don't know how you can think that anything's a sure thing. I mean, things are going to be fortified again. They are, especially here in California. It's like California can't do crap. Now it's just like universal mail-in ballots. Ballots to everybody. Here you go. You want a ballot? Oh, you want a ballot? You're on fentanyl? You want a ballot? Here you go. It's, anybody wants a ballot gets a ballot. Sorry, hope my dog doesn't knock stuff over. So yeah, they downgraded, or they tried to, I guess they're upgrading some Stormy Daniels crap from a misdemeanor to a felony. Like, this is like what do they none of it makes sense to me unless they're trying to set something up down the road to where he for sure can't run. Like, they make it illegal for him to run somehow. Like, they're trying to set this up, that because the optics of this are horrible. It doesn't look good for anybody. So it doesn't make sense for them to do it in any, especially after the FBI raid on Mar-a-Lago. Like, he's getting more sympathy, like, and all the Russia collusion crap that's come out. It's like even people that hated the guy are starting to be like, okay, this is starting to look a little funky. It's like, we're so far beyond, like, everyone's going after this guy. The cathedral's going after this guy, but they just keep doing it. So it feels like they've gotten to a point of no return. Like, they don't care about the optics anymore. They have one goal, and it's to stop him from running again. And they don't think they can do it in a legit way. So they are going to make it, they're going to, create crimes that he did. And there you go. Can't run. It's illegal for him to run. That's what they're going to go with. That's what I'm thinking anyway, because nothing else makes sense to me. Anyway, all right. Oh, sorry. Okay, I haven't even looked at the chat. I don't know how this works, guys. All right, here. Let me go through the chat. Somebody just told me not to ignore the chat. Paul, I'm sorry. Secret Agent Man said I'm nobody. You are, bro. You're my favorite. You're my favorite name. All right. I get too distracted with. I'm not good at this yet, guys. So bear with me. Okay. I'm super glad everybody is here. I'm only seeing YouTube's chats. I guess I got to go to Rumble. Paul, help me. I need you here, man. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to stop screwing with the chats because I want to keep talking about stuff. Trump's indictment still DeSantis. So he actually finally came out and said, yeah, we're not going to extradite him or whatever. If you guys try to extradite him, we're not going to cooperate with you guys. It's like, okay, well, that's the perfect thing to say. 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago or whatever it was when they actually it wasn't that long ago. It was only like a week and a half ago. But like he should have said that right off the bat, and he didn't. So now it's Trump calling him de-sanctimonious. That one's not good. It's not. He's had so many good ones. And Ron de-sanctimonious, I like Ron DeSantis, but I wish Donald Trump came up with a better, funny name for him. Like he called Kim Jong-un Rocket Man. Rocket Man. That's hilarious. Like who? Anyway. All right. Yeah, I guess that's it. They want to disqualify him from running. So that's the only play I could see. All right. Next story that we're talking about here. Well, yeah, this is actually the last story, but there's kind of a lot to talk about. I haven't talked about it at all. And I don't want to call it a story, the most recent mass shooting in Nashville. So what we know, I'm not going to say her name because I think we're far enough into it because fuck that bitch. I'm not going to call her by her proper pronouns because fuck that bitch. Yeah, it was a female to male trans chick. I don't know whatever you want to call her. 28-year-old white chick. Apparently she went to this school, Christian school. Which is actually weird to me because it seemed like it was her alternate target. Apparently she had other targets in mind and she didn't go to them because they were well armed. That's the word around the campfire anyway. You guys fact check me on that. I just heard that. I'm pulling that out of my ass. I could be making that up, but I have heard that from several people now. So, yeah. Sorry, I got distracted by the chat again. I can't do that. I can't do it. I can't look at the chat. I'm sorry, guys. I'm slightly autistic. I'm pretty sure. I'm a libertarian, of course. I'm slightly autistic. So she had other places targeted. They haven't released the manifesto. I want to see what's in it. They're going to release some redacted version, which is BS. We should see the whole thing unredacted. It should have already been released. I feel like if this was a white Trump supporter saying this is MAGA country and he poured bleach on everybody like that, and it would have been released immediately and everybody would have been all over it. But for some reason, this psychopath's manifesto is being protected, and I don't understand why. But she didn't go to the other targets because they had security. Paul, you're giving me suggestions. I get it. Yeah, I'm just going to stay on the YouTube side. I can't even look at them because I forget where I was because I'm half retarded. Can I say retarded on YouTube? Well, I did. Don't nuke me. Don't nuke me, Raj. I'm new to this. All right. I'm trying to build up my little platform here. I know you're new too, so let's just be cool. All right, Raj, just relax for a little bit. I am retarded, so I can call myself retarded. Shooter had other places targeted, didn't go to them because they were well armed. What does that tell you? Like, there was who was it was getting Thomas Massey was getting screamed at today by who's that asshole? I don't know. What you guys tell me his name. I don't recognize him. But I mean, it pissed me off because it pisses me off when somebody starts yelling and approaching another man in an intimidating fashion when they're trying to prove their point. Like, you're not trying to prove your point at that anymore. You're just trying to intimidate the other person. And it's like, okay, are we done talking? Because this could go another way. And that's what he was doing. He was being an asshole and he was trying to intimidate Massey. And Massey was right. He wasn't listening to a word Massey was saying, you know, the look at the statistics. It's all red states, saying all that kind of crap. And Massey's like, yeah. And there's never been a mass shooting at a school that's well armed. Never. And I don't know if that's true, but I think Massey's an MIT guy and he seems pretty smart. So I don't know. Fact check me on that too. Has there ever been a mass shooting at a well-armed school? Like, I don't think there is. And you know, there's so many good arguments on that side that just nobody wants to hear. You know, there's so many good veterans, like 55-year-old veterans. Isn't that retirement age? That, I mean, 55 is the new 45. There's some Joe Rogan's, I think, 55. Like, people are jacked at 55. I know 55-year-old dudes that I roll with that'll toss me around like a gorilla, and I'm 6'6", 230. Like, 55-year-old men that are former, special forces guys or former military that are well versed in firearms and martial arts that love people. Like, those, that's the thing too, is the guys that get really good at violence, the guys that get really good at using weapons, the guys that get really good at martial arts, they typically love people. They typically are the biggest teddy bears you'll ever meet, the nicest guys you'll ever meet. And that's why everybody should go to the jiu-jitsu dojo, because it's terrifying. It is for everybody, especially walking there by yourself for the first time. You don't know everybody is scary as hell looking. Everybody's got a chiseled jaw and cauliflower ear, but you start talking to them and like most of them have like a soft voice even, and they're just really nice people. And if you go there and start showing up, you are going to meet a whole new family. Anyway, the people that are skilled at violence that would volunteer to protect kids are all over the place. And they would go through whatever background checks people wanted to impose, whatever psychological evaluations. I mean, if they're volunteering to, for free, post up at schools, like they'll be like, yeah, sure, I'll go through all that stuff. Guaranteed. There's tons of people everywhere that would be good at it. And it amazes me. And then there's private schools that could afford it. I mean, if you're paying $60,000 a year as a parent for your kid to go to school, they better have watchtowers with, everybody be walking around with AR-10s, chambered in 308. Yep. Keep them. Keep your ARs, guys. Like, that's the other thing too about this stupid shooting. Everybody's talking about an assault weapons ban now. Like, that's what everybody's saying. We need to ban assault weapons and this and that. Like, that's what everybody keeps saying. Assault weapons and weapons of war. Use a 9mm carbine. Like, it's a 9mm. It's like, it doesn't fit your definition of an assault weapon by any means. Well, you can't define it anyway. Like, oh, it's so frustrating. I can't remember who. I saw somebody getting grilled today, and they were intentionally not saying what an assault weapon is or what they say an assault weapon. They're playing ignorant, saying, "Oh, I guarantee that guy has a gun at home that he can take apart, AR that he can go home and take apart and put back together, and he's trying to pretend that he can't define an assault weapon." And the assault. They always say, "Well, we banned assault weapons once, we can do it again." It's like, well, no, you can't, because you already did it. They're gone, right? Like, I thought that's what a ban is. You how can you ban something once and then ban it again? Fully auto was the original definition. Hold down the trigger, boom, boom, boom for a long time till the mag's empty. Like, that was the definition, and it's now they're trying to just weapon of war, and then California's definition. I don't know if it's a definition, but the rules in California, which are ridiculous for you guys. So if you want to have an AR in California and not be a felon, you have to have either a grip that's angled back really far so your thumb is above the trigger, or you have to have a big stupid fin on the back of your pistol grip. It looks like a fin, like a shark fin, that you can't get your thumb around it. So you have to point your thumb forward, which if you have giant hands, it's not that bad actually. Like, especially if you've got it pushed up against your shoulder. It works. It's inconvenient, but it works. The biggest, most annoying thing is 10-round mags. Like, seriously, I gotta have a 10 round mag. Like, I mean, first off, just at the range, it's annoying as shit having a 10 round mag, just that is annoying. And I mean, I don't know. I've never had to be in a gunfight, but I'm sure any of you guys that were overseas in battle would say 10 round magazines aren't a good thing. And, that's really what guns are for. If somebody attacks you, it's nothing about hunting in the Second Amendment. So that is what my AR is for. Is yes, it's a home defense weapon. I live in the mountains too, on a hill. Like, I don't got to worry about what's behind me. Someone comes to that front door, there's a hill behind it, and they're getting lit up. So, hypothetically, of course, because I lost all my weapons in a boating explosion. Yeah, 9mm carbine. It's not an assault rifle by any stretch of the imagination. Oh, California, fin on the grip, has to be angled up, no adjustable stock, 16-inch barrel or longer. That's the minimum length. 10-round magazine, no threaded barrel, no suppressor. I think that's it for the rifles. Some people, if you want to have a pistol grip on it, like an actual pistol grip, you have to have what's called a juggernaut system. It's ridiculous. So it means to change the mag, you have to take the gun apart. So there's this stupid thing where it's just to release the mag, the gun, like it breaks open, the receiver breaks open. It's stupid. Don't get it. I don't like it because when you close it, it doesn't close all the way sometimes, and yeah, it's just stupid. Yeah. All right. That's I think that's no. There's horrible responses on Twitter from people about who got shot, and the things that people were saying is unreal. And then like the brazen calls afterwards, like directly afterwards, like turning it around on the trans community as if they're the victims somehow. And like, I don't get it. I don't get what's happening. Like, there never even used to be an issue with the trans community. It's like, you do you, whatever. But we need to acknowledge what just happened. And it's a biological female that went on testosterone. And any dudes that I know that go on testosterone, and I do know one dude, and he tells me, he's like, yeah, I get, you're amped up, you rage. And well, guys, we've been producing testosterone since whenever, right? Our balls drop. I don't know. When do we start producing testosterone? Like, we've become accustomed to it, and we've learned how to deal with it. It's part of us. I imagine it's a little bit different. Something just happened. Imagine it's a little bit different if all of a sudden you start taking testosterone and you're a female. It probably does something with your brain chemistry. And we need to ask what other psychotropic drugs this person was on. Obviously testosterone isn't a psychotropic drug, but what other antidepressants or cocktail of whatever were they on? And yeah, the screwed up thing is the right now, like Elijah Schaefer put out a thing saying like, maybe we should have a discussion on whether the trans community should be able to own firearms. And it's like, no, we shouldn't have a discussion on that. They should absolutely be able to own firearms. Like, what are you talking about? And, they want to go down that whole rabbit hole. I talked about this the other night, but if so, in order to do that, it's like, okay, you want to have people go through a psychological evaluation, or it's like, oh, you're trans, you identify as trans, give me your gun. Like, all of this isn't going to go over well. And I do know trans. I live in California. Like, I know trans people. I know one right down the way named Riley. Also born a female, now a male. And like, Riley's never tried to push any shit on me. Never tried to talk to me about, I'll say his pronouns, or like never tried to push anything on me. In fact, Riley passes as a dude. Like, I thought Riley was a dude, and somebody told me later, it's like, no, it's a born a female. And I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even know, because Riley's a cool dude, and like never even need to tell me anything. It's just acted like a normal cool dude. It's like, oh, okay, I found that out later, so it really didn't change anything. And knowing Riley, like I've had long conversations with Riley, cool, level-headed person, like doesn't say weird shit, doesn't like look off into the distance, sound like somebody's talking to him inside his head. Riley's cool. Absolutely. I want Riley to have a gun. Like if shit hit the fan and Riley's down the street, I'm glad Riley's over there with a gun, with another homie with a gun. Like, no. Any of you guys are talking about taking guns away from the trans community. I mean, no. You're not a 2A absolutist, are you? Like, so, and you rhino cons that are talking about that crap, just get out of here. Yeah. I kind of think that's it. Pretty much beat all these topics to death. I wanted to talk about the TikTok bill, the Trojan horse TikTok bill for, the bill's so long and I don't want to read it, but I'm going to. I just procrastinated today and I didn't. But apparently people are saying Liberty Lockdown over there saying it's this thing's a Trojan horse for basically Patriot Act number 2. And yeah, I don't want them spying on me any more than they already are. And yeah, so I'll start talking about that tomorrow after I've looked into it more. But yeah, I think that's it for tonight. My first episode, Cali-Based, episode 1. I'm so glad you guys came here. All right. Here, you know what? I'll look at the chats and I'll see if I can figure out how to go over to Rumble. Man, there's a lot of them. How many of you guys were in here? Paul. I think my mom was watching. Hi, Shelly. All right. I'm just scrolling through them, and it looks like you guys are chatting amongst each other. I don't know how to go over to the Rumble chat. Paul, I'll chat with you after this, and maybe you can tell me, and I'll get it figured out for the next time. You guys that chatted and joined, thank you so much. It was this is what I like to do. I like to go down rabbit holes and talk about stuff. So I plan on doing it a lot more. Probably not every night, but it might turn into that. I want to do like more short form videos and post a couple of those every day. That's my goal, is to get to the point where I'm posting a couple of short form videos a day and doing a show every night. And if you are interesting, have an interesting story, have interesting ideas, especially think differently than me, disagree with me, and you want to talk about stuff and you have unique perspectives, let's talk. Let's go live. So, all right. Thank you, everybody, for joining. That was really fun, and I will see you next time. All right.